Well, I'm curious, you mentioned this takes place in the Regency in 1812. I know you've also written time travel romance. You've written across multiple different eras and geographies. What draws you to any story and what drew you to this specific story?
Well, I'm a career historian. And for me, the greatest enjoyment is to engage in personal time travel. I want to feel that I know a moment in the past as well as I know my own house and my own street, the world that I live in every day. I want to feel that if I could step out of a time machine in 1812 or 1912, that I could fit in, that I would know the language and the gestures and um, the customs, material culture, that I would recognize things that I saw and know their uses. Game, I suppose, I play in my mind, but it is a sort of time travel. And I do think many people would like to do that if they could. So I feel that putting historical authenticity into my novels is a priority. And even if I'm writing paranormal romance, like my Bound series of books, which are ghost romance, I get to time travel because my ghosts didn't die last week. They died several hundred years ago. And so bringing their perspective in, I bring their history.
Yeah. Well, and how much research do you do before, or how does research fit into your writing process?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it differs from book to book. But I find that the more challenging books I write, the more challenging the next books become. And so I don't think I set out consciously to do this, but I'm ramping up the detail and I'm ramping up the challenges for myself as a researcher. And something that I warn people about, if they're serious about writing historical fiction, is that you have to be ruthless about it. You have to be prepared to throw away weeks and maybe months of research if you find that it just won't work within the narrative, because you're not just researching the way I did when I was a historian working in a museum. I still then have to fit all that into the narrative structure of the book. And sometimes I do lots and lots of research only to find that it just won't fit, or it'll take me down some road that is narrative dead end. Don't want to go there. So it's a good thing I love my work.
Yeah. And do you find yourself drawn to specific time periods? Or is your goal to time travel to every period that you can?
I feel like a traitor, to the ministry of history by saying this, but I'm not equally comfortable in every era. And I don't like some eras very much, frankly, but I'm crazy for Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
I love Regency a lot, which is what the Chelsea Milliner is. It's smack in the middle of the Regency era. But honestly, it's late Victorian through Edwardian, right up to World War I. And then my interest tapers off until World War II when I get interested again, but never as much as I am in Victorian, late Victorian.
Interesting. You said you have some that are ghost romances and then some that are just more historical romance. How do you know which story is going to be paranormal, which is going to be historical? Maybe there are other genres that you're called to as well. Do you feel like that? Like, do you have any control over that, or are you following a muse?
I have no control. I'm just a chew toy. I am a chew toy. It gets it grip on me. I have an idea, and obviously, all our ideas come from our backgrounds and our likes, dislikes, and the things that we're attracted to. I don't get ideas for Viking novels. It just, not that I have any complaint about them. You know, they're great.
Yeah.
But something comes to me, and then it just won't let me go. And so I have to write it.